Weight quadruple fours, and these the 6 finalists from 17 who set out in this category. And perhaps the most important factor for this race is the fact that we've moved one lane across towards the grandstand. Lane 1 is now lane 0, and lane 6 has now become lane 5, and that's in search of ensuring that these crews are all given as equal conditions as possible in these difficult windy conditions. Australia there, bronze medalists last year, the same crew that took that bronze medal. Then Italy, the gold medalists with their winning crew from Tasmania and Lake Barrington. Paolo Pitino, the stroke for them. And the winners of the Lucerne Regatta, so they've already showed this season that they're in good form and very much the crew to beat. In lane number 4, but in fact number 3 because of the lane changes, we've got Germany. René Hearn, the man who will try and take his crew to victory. Next, the Swedes. Their first final of these 1991 championships. You can see there just how much movement there is on the water. And finally, completing the lineup in what is now lane number 5, lane number 6, as it was the United States' Ed Hewitt. The stroke with Jeff Fentner just behind him, Jay Feenan and Michael Dreyer. France in lane 1, the silver medalists with 2 members of that silver medal crew closest to camera.
Ready. Australia ready. Italy ready. Germany ready. Sweden ready. USA ready. Are you ready? Go!
And a quick first stroke there by the Italians, Dan.
Yes, good reactions all round. Italians always like to get away quickly but settle into a good long stroke very early on. They don't want to use up too much lactate, they don't want to build up the poison in the muscles, so they like to get into a nice solid long stroke. And there you see them getting caught a little bit in this difficult water, but probably cleaner than most, and knowing that they are the reigning world champions.
Lane number.
Pretty even though as we go through the first 100 metres. Closest to you, the French, Thierry Renault and Laurent Porchier, the stern pair who won silver medals in Tasmania. But the man at 2, Roland Gaillac and Patrick Maiore, are the newcomers to the crew. And they're just ahead of the Australians, who are in lane number 2, bronze medalists, then the Italians, and the French again having another quick start here.
Yes, the French actually picked up very well in the into that headwind, but the Americans on the far side moving quite well as well. They've got a good sit back, very cohesive, moving very well together on that far side there. But the French just in front, the Italians holding second place. That's where they like to be, not too far down, but not really holding the lead until much later.
So France coming through to the end of the first 100 and in the lead. At the moment they look to be ahead of Italy, but there's not much between the two. And Sweden also in contention, just about the same distance back.
They're very nice and loose around the finish. This is the key to quad rowing, is to stay very relaxed and loose onto the toes at the catch, and then pick it up very, very accurately at the catch. Timing the approach to the water, timing the pickup with the leg drive. And that's very nice quadruple sculling. They were second last year, second in Lucerne, and they are moving well at the moment.
So the French in lane number 1 who've got the lead there, you see 1:35.13, and they've got just under half a second lead over the Italians. Now those the crowns of the Swedish crew on their blades.
Curious blades, curious colour, curious makeup, nothing that I've seen before, but it's not slowing them down. They're well in contention, although their cohesion, you can see the parallel blades not quite as well together as the other crews.
Now the two crews that are in trouble at the moment, way over on the far side, are the Americans in lane number 6, and the Germans also having a problem. But it's the Swedes now have accelerated through this second 500 meters and are really putting the work in now to try and break the field.
They're at 37 strokes a minute. They're moving very, very fast in that sprint there in that second 500. It's been very effective because it's given them 3/4 of a length. And there's Germany. Germany also well together. Good power, but bouncing the boat quite a lot there at the finish of the stroke. And their blade work, not that clever. You can see the blades not parallel, not picking up the water together, and that cohesion could cost them something further down the course.
Well, it's already costing them quite a lot because, believe it or not, the Germans are just about last at the moment, 5th or 6th, and the Swedes have got, I think, just about clean water from what we can see there. Coming to halfway, Sweden there in 1:36, I should say 3:16.08, and that's a useful advantage that the Swedes have got, but they've set their store out now, and everybody knows what they're up to.
Well, I mean, that's an extremely good move for them, and it's going to be very hard to catch them. They got into their rhythm, they made their move, and they've really made a very, very big impression on this race.
Watch out for the Australians, Dan, who are also beginning to accelerate in this third 500. They were 4th through the first quarter and moved up to 3rd space at 1,000 metres. And the French now beginning to feel the pressure, and in fact they're only 4th at the moment.
Yes, they've lost that smooth run of the boat. They're beginning to labour it a bit into the headwind. They've lost the spring. Early on they looked very, very springy, very clever. But those Swedes are moving extremely well, and it's Australia that's moved into 2nd place. Australia chasing Sweden, and Australia looking nice. They're not checking their boat at all. The boat's moving very well, and Australia into the second half, beginning to show that they could be a challenge here for the title. They were 3rd last year, and they're making a move. They haven't been seen in Europe until now this year, but they are very well together, and this is where it counts, the middle part of the race. If they can get it right here, then they'll be challenging at the end.
Lovely looking boat, and they really do look a picture of harmony at the moment there. Interesting also how the Italians have faded. They tried to stay up there early on, and they and the Germans really not in contention. The Australians making a move on the Swedes now, and it's the two crews with a very similar coloured vests who are dominating this race.
But Italy are not out of it. They're just there in 3rd position, overlapping the Australians, and this is usually where you expect to see the Italians moving. But it is now the Australians who are beginning to close. They are closing on the Swedes. In fact, they've taken an edge just through those boys there ahead of the Swedes, and it's the Australians who've taken the lead. Very cohesive sculling, very powerful sculling, very effective. Ooh, a bit of a roll there. Ooh, and a catch. He caught something there, and that must have set them back a bit. Have the Swedes taken it back? It was very close to the finish. It's between Sweden and Australia, and they're coming up to the last 15 strokes to the line.
It's very crucial now, as that cost the Australians a chance of the gold medal, because the Swedes relentlessly driving on that rhythm there, looking out to their right. They're split by a great margin of the regatta course there. It's difficult to feel it. The Australians really coming again now. They've got the boat back together. The Swedes on the far side. There's a battle for bronze between France and Italy. France flying towards the death there. Australia and Sweden flash past together, and France coming at the death there to take a definite bronze medal. But we'll have to wait and see the replay there, because I couldn't separate. Oh, and the Australians have looked to their left, and the scoreboards told the story that by the last gasp they've got there, when they so nearly threw it away by hitting that buoy.
There's just a little hesitation there from the stroke man. 15 strokes out, and I thought that might have cost them the gold medal, but they got it. They got back right on top, right on the line on that last stroke, and the French there came in past the Italians. Look, the world champions fading into 5th place, caught by the Germans, coming through to finish 4th. But there are the medals: Australia, Sweden and France.
Now look at this for a margin here. We've got the low finish camera here. This will give us an idea of just how close it was to Sweden getting their first gold medal. Well, look at that. Just a dozen centimetres. Nothing in it, but the honours go to Australia, the silver medal to Sweden, their first medal of the championships, and France's first medal of the championships, getting the bronze there. So all those three countries going onto the medal table for the first time in 1991. So from bronze on home water in Tasmania, they go up to collect their gold medals this year from Roland Val, Vice President of FISA.
Great performance from the Australians.
And a terrific effort also from Sweden, who had a race plan, stuck to it, and it so nearly paid off. Great race.